Hey there everyone, I'm busy editing this very video. I used a different video playback program for the trailers and didn't realize just how fucking loud they were. Unfortunately, I was watching them and recording at the same time. I didn't edit post so I could get like live reactions to it. And the audio is fucking whacked. You cannot hear what the hell I'm saying, so massive apologies for that. But recording it again is not going to be as natural, so yeah. You've seen enough of my videos, you know where it goes. I am the most professional YouTuber. I'm sorry. But anyway, enjoy! Greetings! This is Faolan. Welcome to this year's top 5 games. This year I actually had a bit of a struggle with it, truth be told. There's only like a few games on the list that I'm truly passionate about, and the rest that I just think are pretty good. I was almost tempted to do another game of the year, but after breaking one of my rules a little bit, I've decided, you know what, fuck it. We've got enough to do a top 5. Let's go. So, the first game on my list is the one I'm breaking the rules on. That's Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. I have barely played this game. I've only played a little bit of it. I've not finished it. But here's the thing. Kingmaker came out in 2018. And it is only this year that I've actually managed to finish it. And Kingmaker is without a doubt one of the best classic RPGs I have ever played. It is so fucking good. I love the characters. I love the story. I love the mechanics. I love it. And Wrath of the Righteous takes Kingmaker and elevates it to whole new heights. Every single thing I have seen in this game, I am beyond impressed by. First and foremost, what you can do with your characters. Kingmaker is the only game that I can think of where you can play a Blood Rager, or a Blood Rider, which is basically a sorcerer and a barbarian mixed into one, which is right up my alley and sounds fucking amazing. But being a Blood Rider, it also gets an animal companion. That animal companion can be a fucking velociraptor, right? So you're this raging, spell-slinging, magical barbarian riding around on a fucking velociraptor. Unlike the prior game, velociraptors and pets in general and mounts in general, yes, you can mount them this time. That's another feature. Also level up with you. They gain new skills. They can be They can be different things. They can have different personalities. You can fucking name them this time. I don't have fucking Wolf following me around now. I have fucking Shadowpaw or something like that. Badass. Also, you can play as a Kitsune. Finally, some non-human races that aren't completely fucking hideous. Good shit. Kitsune, fox people, you can play as one of them. Furry representation. Hell yes. Also, you can play as a Damphir, a half vampire. Goth, badass, edgelord representation. Way behind that. That's fucking badass. But here's the kicker. You get choices in this game. You can end up being like a fucking golden dragon. Yes, you can become basically a golden dragon. You can become fae. You can become a demon, an angel, or a motherfucking lich. And at a certain point, these choices change the way your characters look. So, that Kitsune Blood Rider riding around on a velociraptor, yeah, that thing is a goddamn skeleton Kitsune riding around on a Blood Rider. A lich! A motherfucking lich! And these choices completely change your playthrough. Some of them, like the lich, remove your party members. You can only get certain party members as certain one of these classes. The Fae one, for example, gets a furry dragon, which is badass. I love that as a companion. And there's just so much replayability. There's so much to this beyond being, do you want to be a holy, like, amazing hero to the people, savior of all Jesus character? Or do you want to be a royal fucking bastard, the most evil piece of shit to ever exist? You can do that, but there's much more to it. There's more ways to play. There's more ways with these mixed characters. You know, I'm partial to pet classes. I like having pets in video games. But at the same time, or these kind of games, I am not a spell slinger. I find spell slinging boring. I like a bit of spell slinging, but I also like martial, which is why the kind of ranger class tends to go for me, because that gives me a bit of both. A bit of all worlds. But Blood Rager Barbarian. I can wield around a giant fuck you axe, send my pet in, and cast spells whilst raging and fucking doing all this. Hell yes. Thank you. That's badass. That's amazing. And I'm only just talking about what you can do with your motherfucking character. The NPCs look really amazing. The companions look really amazing. They're breaking down freaking stereotypes here by making what looks to be a really fucking evil, really cool, well written ASMR. Which, for those of you who don't know, ASMRs are basically half angels, celestials, people touched with the blood of the angelic forces from up above. That's badass. That's really fucking cool. Like, having an evil one of those instead of an I'm so good and perfect kind of character. Very, very nice. Tristan, a lot of people hated from the prior game. I actually really liked him because he was someone that he struggled with the weakness of being a good person. Because being a good person is hard. Anyone can be a bastard, but being a truly good person is really hard. It's harder than being a bastard. And this person, Tristan, is too fucking weak. And he ends up making terrible decisions because he's not strong enough to be good, but he so desperately wants to be good. And I love that. But that's Kingmaker. I have barely got into the meat of this game. There is so much to Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, and they're still updating it. They're still adding new features and fixing things as we go. And Alcat Games have, from everything I've seen of this, have blown it out the water. I would not put this on my list at all if I wasn't so goddamn sure that this is one of the best games ever made. Without playing it. Okay, so I've played it, only a bit of it, but I've played it and I've seen enough of it to be like, okay, this is one of the greatest RPGs of its type to ever be made. And I'm willing to bet that if I actually fucking finished it this year before making this video, this would be number 2 on this list. Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous is just... I'm so excited to play. I just want the time to just sit down and fucking enjoy it and get into its world. But I've got a lot less time these days since I'm now a full-on homeowner. And I have to take care of a lot more things. Those of you who frequent the channel and know me personally will know why. But 2021 has not exactly been the best of year. So let's just enjoy what bit of, you know, excitement we can have. Like the trailer. Let's watch.
This city was doomed. With the seeds of evil sown long before it fell, Canabris ended up in flames. Those who survived were left to face an even worse fate.
I've said it many times before, but my favourite game of all time is Neverwinter Nights. One of the expansions to that was Horde of the Underdog, in which you fight amongst the chaotic and lawful evils of demons and devils.
Now, we have a glimmer of hope. A gift of tremendous power has been given to one of us. One who has become a leader, united us, and given us the strength to fight back. Nothing will keep us from victory now. The question is, what will become of us when we finally win?
It looks better, it plays better, and there are so many more options. Unlike the other one, you won't just do it as good an evil playthrough. You'll do a lot, experimenting with a lot of different things, and I'm sure it's going to be a fucking blast. Starting off a bit weird, with a game I've not actually finished, breaking off one of my rules, but It's fine. It's going to be straight playing from now. I couldn't give that game just an honorable mention. It looks so great. It's plays so great. Everything I've seen of it's so great. But anyway, let's moving on to our number 4. Pokemon Snap. I have wanted a Pokemon Snap game for years. For a long time, I have wanted a Pokemon Snap game. And finally, we get one on what is arguably Nintendo's best fucking platform in a long time. The Switch has its problems, but there's a reason why it's become my favorite console. There's a reason why last year I said it even beat PC gaming for me. Because that home console, portable console combination, I will accept lower quality graphics. I will accept that. I will accept the inability of to mod, because that is just so much more convenient. Pokemon Snap, it's the natural second addition to the Snap series. There's a lot of this that just screams Pokemon Snap, like the old game you used to know and love, but improved. It runs a hell of a lot smoother, and there's a hell of a lot more to it. With the photo editing features, like some of the ones you can see here, this is my profile online. It really gives you the option, to, like the ability to really craft your own. There's more than just going out and taking photographs and having them judged by the computer. Because here's the thing, photography games miss the mark a lot on what the true kind of general guidelines and rules of a good shot is. But real people, they don't do that. Real people do not do that. You can hear my dog walking in the background. Hello, do you want to come up and say hi? Come on. Here's my little lily pup. My little herdier. Hello, everyone. Real people don't do that. Real people judge by actual photography quality. What looks good to them. Because that's the thing about the general guidelines of photography. It's anyone can see what a good picture is. Because it's natural. It should be ease on the eyes. And whilst a lot of these images look okay, a lot of them judged by the professor are judged by very robotic notions that don't really translate to what a good shot actually is. Such as making everything dead fucking center. They will judge that higher than anything else. Having a Pokemon look at you. Now, whilst it's nice to have a Pokemon look at you, being someone who is a hobbyist nature photographer, having wildlife look at you is nice, but sometimes a really good and expressive shot has an animal just doing its thing. Just being normal in the wild. Like you can see from the one down there of the toucan. This allows, the online function allows people who want to express their photography skills, who want to just make meme posts like the noteworthy behavior one down there, and allows people to truly express themselves, express their artistry, express their photographer's eye, express their capabilities, show their skills to a wide audience. And this is the kind of game that will have an audience for many, many years to come as people continuously go online and compete with each other and do these little kind of event things. It's really cool, and it's something that really does surpass and set this apart from the original game. I admit I was initially disappointed with Pokemon Snap because I expected so much more. We're on like, what, 8, 9 generations since the very first game? We've seen so many amazing locations in the various... Willow, would you stop licking the legs? We've seen so many new amazing locations in the various new additions to the game. Like the crystal magnetic caves from Black and White. I'm putting you down because you keep licking my hands. You're lick, 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 lick. So go on. There's been so many amazing locations in Pokemon that just getting a generic set of like biomes was disappointing. But then I actually played the game and the mechanics set it apart. The biomes don't matter. It would have been nice to have gone to the various regions in Pokemon, some of the more noteworthy standout areas. Maybe for the next one, huh? that would expecting a lot of change and improvement from Nintendo. And if there's one thing Nintendo doesn't actually do, it's improvement in their basic games on a level that makes sense. You know, they'll add some gimmicks, they'll throw in a few things there that might have worked several years ago, but they'll never actually make massive improvements to their games, because that would change things too much. And since Legend of Zelda 2, they've been terrified of doing that. But Pokemon Snap is really fucking good. It's if you're a lover of photography games like myself, if you're a lover of Pokemon like myself, you own this already. It's a great entry to the series, a must-have on the Switch, and yeah, it's just a really, really fun game, and it's a nice upgrade from the original, even if it's not the level of upgrade I personally would have wanted. But still, great game. Certainly one of the standouts of the year, and it's nice to finally have a new Pokemon Snap, and on Nintendo's best fucking system in years.
Welcome to the world of new Pokemon Snap.
Oh, it's the Nintendo
This is the Lentil region.
Hello, children!
You'll ride the Neo 1 through the jungle, across the desert, and even under the sea to research Pokemon in their natural habitats.
All people can hear is pitter-patter. You've been out.
And of course, you won't be alone. Professor Mirror, who's doing research in the Lentil region, and research team members Rita and Phil are there to support you. So you're in good hands.
Coming at you.
Now then, let's get that research started. By watching wild Pokemon, you can discover behaviors and expressions that are rarely seen. Look, a surfing Alolan Raichu.
Make a video with a really professional video.
And there's Vaporeon. Let's try throwing it a fluff fruit. That's it. Now's our chance. Oh, it's Tyranitar.
Hey, Tyranitar.
What a wild way to eat.
No. I wish I could do one.
Here's a park at night. Let's try playing a melody. Oh, that sure made Hoot Hoot happy. You'll also have Illumina orbs, something the professor invented. If you use one of these, you can make any Pokemon glow. Whoa! Those flames changed color!
It's all about figuring out what to do.
Make good use of your tools to take shots that really stand out. Then, show the photos you took to the professor.
A lot of hours can be lost.
Oh, 4 stars! We captured a rare moment there. Catch a variety of different behaviors on camera to fill up your Pokemon photo decks.
I hate Nintendo.
And there's more. You'll be able to edit the photos you've taken.
This is a really cool feature. This adds a lot. You can
use features like stickers and frames to make your favorite photos even more special. And I'm sure you'll want to show off your best photos, right? We know that feeling well. When you want to do that, it's time to go online. You can share your favorite photos and check out photos from around the world. And if your photo becomes popular, it might even be featured and get more attention. Seeing something like that may inspire you to go back and take even more photos. We're getting closer to the start of your adventure. Unexplored islands and plenty of Pokemon await in the Lentil region, so make sure you're prepared. Whoa! Is that the mythical Pokemon Celebi? Get ready! The Lentil region is waiting for you!
The Lentil region. Do you like your lentils? Whoa, here's the other one. There's my girls. I've got my girls with me. There we are. My girls. Hello, girls. Hello, girls. Say hello. Say hello. Right, we're making videos together now. You'll have to go down soon, because I'm going to go ballistic for one of these. Yeah. Right, next one. 2021. Video game wise, had the largest disappointment for me as a gamer in my entire life. it had Monster Hunter Rise. I was so excited for Monster Hunter Rise. And whilst I did enjoy it at first, I really had fun, its flaws really quickly came to light. The team was too busy making microtransactions, just cosmetic, that don't really matter, microtransactions, that if you were to get them all, would have cost around the same price as buying the game 3 or 4 times over. And that's when I stopped playing. God knows what it is now. They basically did nothing with it. And it was such a bare bones experience. Now, a lot of people jump on this and say, well, yeah, it doesn't have G-Rank. As if G-Rank is the only thing that ever really adds to a Monster Hunter game. Bitch, it wasn't until Monster Hunter 3U that I even made it to G-Rank. Because I played these games solo for years until I finally got a friend on board. In fact, you can actually find that on his channel. We're making a video together, and I'm so excited because I'm finally getting to do G-Rank content. I didn't even make it to G-Rank because I fucking soloed everything, including the online stuff, for years because I did not have friends that played it, right? Monster Hunter games have been amazing for a long time, and Monster Hunter Generation was incredible before the G-Rank version. Anyone that says it just doesn't have G-Rank is missing the fucking point. It's a bare bones game. All the improvements that were made in Generations and World, out the window. But do you know what they kept? Microtransactions. Oh, they kept them. This leaves Monster Hunter Rise feeling a lot like a mobile game. Like a Blizzard Activision game. More than anything else. And it left a real sour taste in my mouth. It's not all bad. The art style is great, having a nice mixture of world's detail and the classic colour and style. The Palamute is really cool. Not as good as the Palico in terms of use, but it's a really nice addition. I like it. Gotta love the doggo. And the new monsters that they added in the base game, I don't know about the extra ones later on down the line with the expansion, if that's even out yet, I don't know. But the new monsters in the base game were all really, really, really good. One of the best complete new roasters they've added in a long time. Really, really good. But that's where my praise for Rise ends. But thankfully, it wasn't a complete disappointment, because we got Monster Hunter Stories 2. A game that was completely shat all over in the first time it came out, because it came out at the same time as fucking Pokemon. Yeah, Monster Hunter Stories for the DS came out at the same time as a fucking Pokemon game and got shat on because of it. So I really didn't expect a Monster Hunter Stories game to come back, especially in the West. But lo and behold, it did. And this is the game that had the Monster Hunter spirit. Continuous, free updates. Doesn't have to be the biggest thing in the world. It's only little minor things, but they still added more content as the game went on. They added more things for you to do completely for free post-launch. It had microtransactions, but they didn't continue to add microtransactions onto it and cosmetic DLC. They just didn't need to. They didn't do it. It wasn't part of it. It was there at launch, and that was it. No more. And you didn't really need to buy any of those because, unlike, again, Rise, a lot of the stuff that you can get in-game that fills that same slot is better than the stuff that you can get in the store. At least in my opinion. Character customization. Character customization is really good and improved. You've got layered armor and cosmetic armor and all this kind of things. They've learned from the prior game. They've learned what didn't work, and they fixed it in the next one. This is how Monster Hunter games usually work. They keep what was broken in the past game. Sorry, they keep what was amazing and good and revolutionary in the past game, and they dump what didn't work, or they tweak it to make it better. That's what Monster Hunter games do, and it makes me really feel that Rise was made by a different team. I feel as if they actually put the main Monster Hunter team on Stories 2, because this game had the same attention to detail, the same development process, the same post-launch process, as far as I can tell from the past Monster Hunter games before Rise that actually fucking worked, were done well, and were made with goddamn passion. Monster Hunter Rise is a fucking phenomenal game. A beautiful, classic, child-friendly RPG that is just a joy, heartwarming, beautiful to play. A classic romp. A lot of options that you can have with your monsties, and a hell of a post-game. Beautiful, fun, constant things to do. Free updates. Not a bunch of microtransactions. They did everything right that Rise did wrong. And so much more. The Monster Hunter series isn't dead. I just, with Rise, can no longer say that I am safe to buy these without looking into them anymore. Monster Hunter has become another series in which I have to do my research before I buy it. Unfortunately, because I cannot expect quality by default anymore. But at least we got Stories 2. Stories 2 was so good.
Red may have been strong and skilled, but against the awesome power of nature,
the awesome power of nature. Damn nature, you scary.
Chance.
All around, things just kept getting worse. But I heard that Guardian Ratha had survived and
also,
returned to Hekolu Island.
You can see a lot.
I went there to see Red's old monster again. Then, of course, that's when I met you.
Having Rathalos as your favorite monster is kind of like having Pikachu.
You were given Red's kinship stone, and now a Rathalos egg. This is destiny.
It's so fucking cute, look at it. It's got a nub wing.
The monster with the wings of ruin. It's said that a beat of its wings can bring about waves of destruction.
Many people believe there's a connection between the strange happenings and the wings of ruin. The pits are appearing everywhere, and they're emitting a strange light.
What's this whole idea of forming kinship with monsters? How do you control them?
It's not about control.
Bitch.
Monsters have riders of their own will.
I also love the whole idea.
The bonds between monsters and riders are just like your bond with Tsukino.
So it's really believable to have this kind of cross, and it makes me hopeful that maybe riders are going to be.
What kind of power does Ratha really have? Why are all of these pits appearing? And who are those people who want to take Ratha for themselves? All I have are questions.
Hopefully
if there's worry or doubt in your voice, Ratha will become anxious too. He needs to know that you will protect him no matter what.
I can sense the flames of his life force weakening. The burden of such great power is too much for his body to bear.
The music's amazing.
A voice. Can you hear it?
Riders can bond with monsters. Surely you can groove with fellow humans.
They have the power
This
of
is actually
kinship.
the first video I'm using it for,
They're
but I will be
friends.
using it
They're
in
monsties.
so
Humans
you'll see
carry
me
the
in stream
strength of
before you see
everyone
these
they
videos.
meet. That makes them strong. My friends here taught me that. I believe in the strength of humanity.
Hell yeah. Just finally got comfortable. The perfect game with that right here. Yay! It's the doggo! It's a good game! Okay, I'm gonna put this out there right away. Monster Hunter Rise is not a bad game. Monster Hunter Rise is Fallout. No, Monster Hunter Rise is Fallout 76. If you had never played any of the other games in the series, Monster Hunter Rise would be fucking amazing. One of the best games you've ever played. If you had played any of the other games in the series, it's a fucking travesty and an insult. It's the best way of putting it.
Dude. Finally gonna get to G rank. Hopefully, if we do this.
G rank.
It's been so long. I've waited so long for this moment.
I haven't. It's been 2 months.
Not for bloody me, it hasn't.
Well, it would be technically a year for me since I started the game after the internet sorted.
This is the same character that let's do it.
Oh, it's way a bit longer.
No! I always get the G rank, right? Yes.
Have I put on ready? Andrew.
Have I gone?
Come help me.
This is a game that was initially going to start in 5th because I couldn't really justify putting it higher. But as I was putting this list together, it went higher and higher and higher. It is the game this year that I remember fondly, and it's the highest game on this list that I will probably go back to outside of the first. It got really middling reviews, and a lot of people have probably already forgotten about it. It came out right at the start of the year. Werewolf the Apocalypse Earthblood. This gave me a nostalgia trip. Playing this game was like going back in time and playing games like Altered Beast from 2005 on the PlayStation 2. It has a real old-fashioned action game feel to it. It feels AA, not AAA. It feels AA, and we don't get AA games anymore. And remember, most of people from at least my generation's favorite games, some of the best games ever made, were not AAA. They were AAA about the point that they became a series. But the entry that made them, they were AAs. Right? And that's what Werewolf the Apocalypse Earthblood feels like. Bloodline, that's Vampire the Masquerade. It's the same franchise. It all comes under the White Wolf tabletop RPG banner. But I've been wanting a Werewolf the Apocalypse game ever fucking since Vampire the Masquerade. One of the greatest, most broken games to ever exist came out. We never did get Vampire 2. Never came out. I think it was cancelled. The studio shut down or something like that. So this is our White Wolf game. And it's really old-fashioned. It's super old-fashioned. There's not a lot of bullshit in it. It's super old-fashioned. You buy the game, you play the game, that's it. There's no tacked-on multiplayer mode. There's a little bit of... There's some microtransactions, but really it's completely fucking negligible. I just think it's part of a contract these days that every game has to have them. And it's just... It's like going back in time and playing a really old, like, fun game, but with modern-ish graphics. And basically, there are stages, and you try to stealth, and the stealth will inevitably fail, and when it does, you go on a massive fucking killing spree, you turn into a werewolf, and you rip the shit out of everyone. And dude, the music. Holy shit, the music. We'll hear that later on, but whoa. This is... I love werewolves. One of the best things about Skyrim was playing as a werewolf. One of the worst things about Skyrim, it was playing a werewolf because of the mechanics. It's nice to actually play as a fucking werewolf in a game around being a fucking werewolf. And on top of that, they're goddamn hippies! They're goddamn hippies! They didn't abandon that. It wasn't just all edgelord shit. They're fucking hippies! They're fucking hippies! Like, the entire thing is, we must protect the trees. We must protect the forest from these fucking companies that are goddamn killing all the earth spirits and shit like that. It's so fucking good. It's so cheesy. It's so good. It's so amazing. It's so early 2000s. It's so 2006, 2000... free, you know? It's so early 2000 and it's so nostalgic because of it. And I loved it. I loved it so much. It was just a game you bought and you played. There was no bullshit. There was no bullshit mechanically. There was no bullshit business-wise. There was no bullshit. It was a game you bought and you played, and it was simple, and it was amazing, and it was great, and it was enjoyable. And it was such a fun time that made me feel like I went back in time to when the game industry was better. And I'm going to have to put this dog down because we're going to be playing the trailer now. And I don't want her being here because she's going to get frightened. My dogs are excited. Yeah! God, that fucking game. God, that music. Oh, yeah. Alright. I've calmed down. My dog goes back with me. Yeah, you are. Okay. So, with that sorted, what is my number one? My number one is one of the finest examples of games as art to ever exist. A game with one of the greatest soundtracks to ever be made, especially by an indie developer. Or at least to be made for an indie developer, or to be curated by an indie developer. It is a small, short game that will have a lasting impact on pretty much anyone that plays it, that gives it the time of day. And a game that, unfortunately, will be politically relevant for as long as people exist. A game so politically relevant that Facebook actually banned the trailers on the website for being too political. Road 96. You play as several teenagers trying to cross the border and escape the country ruled by a tyrannical dictator. Think King John, whatever his name is. Alright? That level of bad. Think China. That level of bad. This is a dangerous thing to be doing. These children will... Well, I won't spoil anything, but... Yeah. Along the way, you will meet characters. Characters that you will either end up loving or hating. Even when they try to redeem some of the more hateful ones, you'll end up hating them. But they are still interesting. They are still fun to deal with. Even frightening at times. There was one time I witnessed something and tried to help something that I didn't really want to be a part of, but I didn't want to die. So I ran away. So after I helped him out and I said I was getting on my merry way, the first thing I did was go to the hotel owner, tell him what was happening, and tell him to call the police. And then he was dead on the floor. The person who had trapped me in that room and forced me to help them shot the guy. It was my fault that person died. That's what it felt like. It came out of nowhere and I shat myself. I really wish that the very first time I played this game, I actually streamed it. Because my live reactions to so much of this was a mixture of emotions. I was angry at times. I was shocked at times. It drew me to tears at times. It is a gorgeous game, artistically, like art style wise, written wise, like writing wise, voice acting wise, musical wise, and gameplay wise. It is one of the best games to ever be made. It really is. And for the price, the fucking price, everyone needs to play this game. It is simple enough that someone not used to playing video games can play it. And, sorry, my dog's just sliding through my legs. It's simple enough that people not used to playing video games can play it. But there's enough to it that people, if they enjoy a good story at least, and can get more out of video games than just action, which there is action. But it's just, they also meld various gameplay styles together, and unlike other games that try this, it actually works really well. The one issue I had with it was a specific mini game in which you have to use a magnet to get a key around the thing, and the way it was designed, I didn't actually realize that the key could go the magnet could go through things, or the key could go through things. It was one of them, and I was stuck on that segment for an embarrassingly long time until I realized that. So I am assuming it's a design flaw, because I'm not the only one that's done that. I was talking about it while streaming once, and someone else had the same problem. So I imagine we're not the only ones. But you have to play the game. It's a masterpiece. Outside of that one design nitpick, the only complaint I have about it is there's not more of it. This is a studio to watch out for. Keep an eye on the studio. And the fact that this game hasn't even been nominated for the Game Awards. Cyberpunk has, by the way. Never watched the Game Awards, guys. It's a complete fucking sham. This game is just not talked about by very many people. It seems to be completely forgotten. I'm really hoping this year, when people start doing their top 5s, I love watching other people's top 10, top 5s, or Game of the Year videos. It's one of my favorite times of the year, just watching all these different people with different tastes reviewing games and see which ones pops up. I really hope this one shows up. This is the most passionate I have been about a game in years. For the price, it's a steal. It's a steal. It's really cheap, and it's one hell of an experience. The soundtrack even became the soundtrack of my life throughout the entirety of October. Going to the shops, walking the dogs, like doing housework, everything, I was listening to this soundtrack. It is such perfect active walking music, which makes sense because that's what you're doing. You'll hear a little bit of that in the end of the video, actually. But it's pure perfection. It is pure perfection. It is the closest thing to a perfect game I've ever played. And it is the best argument for games as art that I've personally ever experienced. Road 96 is, without a shadow of doubt, my game of the year. And possibly even my game over the last several years. This is one to play, guys. Completely fucking serious. I'm really hoping it gets the recognition this year that it deserves.
Hey, it's me, Alex. I'm okay. I met this boy, loser, at the diner, at the gas station, in the mountains. They were hitchhiking, driving. They were escaping to the border. Looking for someone called Zoe, John, Jared, Sonia.
I've purposely not said it,
and running from the police, running from some bad guys. They helped me, played games with me. They stole my money. And they made me realize that I have to come back home. I have to make my own way to help the brigades. Where am I? Road 13, Road 42, Road 67, Road 96.
The trailer doesn't do it justice, but there's no way of advertising that game without giving it away just how good it is. We'll now close out with the video I was talking about before. About this being my soundtrack for basically the entirety of October. And a bit of November. So, yeah. Thank you very much for watching, guys. 2021 has not been great. I've gone through quite a bit this year. But even at the start of the year, I've done really well with the weight loss. Like, even go back to some of the videos I released early this year and look at me now, you can tell from just my face. I'm super proud of myself, and I know that if my mother was still with us, she'd be beyond the moon with what I've done this year. She'd be proud of me. I'm not going to get political with what's going on. That's for other videos. But I just hope that we can be out of this soon. Because I don't think many people can mentally survive another year of this. Something's got to give. But thankfully, we still have video games to give us experiences and give us a break from just how shit the real world can be. I hope you have a very Merry Christmas, or whatever holiday you celebrate this time of year. Personally, I'm thinking of leaning to Yule. I'm going very basic this year. I'm going to make that my new normal, because Christmas has never really been my thing. So I think I'm going to start going easier with Christmas, more basic, more nature-based. I've got a Yule log downstairs above the fireplace, and it just speaks to me. So that's the way I'm going. I'm going to have to research into it properly before I can actually say that I celebrate it, because obviously it would just be service level. Unless I actually know what the symbolism is properly and so on and so forth. But yeah, happy holidays, and take care of yourself. Stay strong. Bye for now.